My mom is threatening not to attend my wedding after my golden child brother proposed to my fiancée. So, I told her she can toss her invite in the trash because I won't beg her to be there. Luke was always Mom's favorite, and she never tried to hide it. Growing up, if my sisters and I got gifts for Christmas or birthdays, they were for us to share. Luke's stuff completely off limits. We weren't even allowed to touch his things without his permission. When Luke would screw up, I'd get punished for not being a good role model. I remember when he went through this phase of breaking his toys, smashing them against walls, throwing them down the stairs. I got beaten with a wooden spoon because apparently he learned that behavior from me. Never mind that I actually took care of my stuff. That's when I started distancing myself from my brother. I couldn't stand watching him get away with everything while I caught hell for his mistakes. At 17, I got my first job at a local grocery store because I wanted to finally get my own car and make money that they couldn't force me to give to Luke. I saved every penny for a year, worked weekends, holidays, late shifts, whatever I could get. Bought my first car at 18, a used Honda Civic, and I was so proud because I did it completely on my own with zero help from them. 2 months later, Luke turned 16 and told my parents he wanted a car. Instead of making him work for it like I did, my mom came to me and demanded I give him mine. She said he needed it more because he had a social life and I was just going to college anyway. When I refused, she threatened to kick me out of the house. At the start of the new school year, I moved away for college and cut contact with all of them. Didn't talk to my parents or Luke for 3 years. My sisters and I stayed in touch, but I made it clear I was done with that family dynamic. Around the time I graduated and moved back to my hometown, my sister told me they'd been seeing a family therapist. My parents wanted to apologize for how they treated us growing up. I was hesitant as hell, but agreed to meet them as long as they were genuine about it. The reconciliation process started slowly. Then, I met Jen at a bar in October when I moved back, and we just clicked instantly. She was easily the most beautiful and intelligent woman I'd ever met. We started going on dates and made it official after a few weeks. Everything felt right with her for the first time in my life. At a family dinner a few months later, my parents asked to see pictures of my girlfriend. I handed them my phone and they passed it around the table. When it got to Luke, his face went white, then red. He completely blew up, calling me a terrible brother for dating his ex-girlfriend. He demanded I break it off with her immediately. I refused and told him to grow up. When I asked Jen about it later, she confirmed they had dated briefly. They were only together for 1 month before he broke things off with her because he was bored of being in a relationship and never really wanted to settle down anyway. On Jen's birthday this year, I took her to this fancy steakhouse downtown. I invited our families and her closest friends. After dinner, I got down on one knee and asked her to marry me. She said yes. Everyone cheered except Luke. He completely flipped out, yelling about how I was doing this to hurt him, how I was rubbing it in his face. My sisters and I immediately shut him down and told him to leave if he couldn't be happy for us. He stormed out. Over the next few weeks, Luke started showing up everywhere Jen and I went. Grocery store, gym, our favorite restaurants, even outside our apartment at night. We'd see his car parked down the street with him just sitting there watching our windows. When I confronted my parents, they said he was just checking on his ex to make sure she was okay. Last night, Jen woke me up in a panic. She was staring at her phone with tears streaming down her face. Someone had sent her photos of herself sleeping in our bed, taken from inside our bedroom. I shot up in bed, my heart basically pounding out of my chest. I grabbed her phone and looked at the pictures, 3 different angles, all taken from inside our room while we were asleep. You could see me in the background of one photo, completely knocked out. The photos were time-stamped from 2:47 a.m. That was less than 2 hours ago. "We need to check the apartment right now," I said, already getting out of bed. My hands were shaking as I grabbed the baseball bat I kept in the closet. Jen was crying, just sitting there, frozen on the bed. I went through every room, checked the closets, under the bed, behind the shower curtain. My pulse was racing the whole time. When I got to the bedroom window, I saw it. The lock was completely mangled. Someone had forced it open from outside. "Call your best friend," I told Jen. "Tell her to come over right now. You're not staying here alone while I figure this out." I looked out the window and saw muddy boot prints on the sill. Our apartment is on the 2nd floor, right next to the fire escape. Luke must have climbed up while we were sleeping, forced the window open, took those photos, then left the same way. The thought of him standing in our bedroom watching us sleep made me feel sick. Jen's friend Taylor showed up 20 minutes later. By then, I had checked every single window and door in the apartment. Taylor took one look at Jen's face and immediately pulled her into a hug. "I'm installing window alarms on everything," I said, "and we're changing all the locks today." "First thing, you think it was Luke?" Taylor asked. "I know it was Luke." I spent the next few hours at Home Depot, loading up on window alarms, new deadbolts, and security cameras. By the time I got back, Jen had packed a bag. She was going to stay with Taylor for a few days until I got everything installed. "I can't sleep here," she said quietly. "Not until you fix everything." "I know. I'm so sorry. This isn't your fault, but it felt like my fault. I should have seen this coming." I should have done something about Luke's stalking before it got to this point. After Jen left with Taylor, I spent the entire day installing the security system. Camera pointed at the front door, camera on the fire escape, window alarms on every single window that would scream if someone tried to force them open, new locks on both doors. By the time the sun came up, I hadn't slept at all. At 6 a.m., I got in my car and drove to my parents' house. I needed to show them what their precious golden child had done. Maybe seeing actual proof would finally make them understand. My dad answered the door in his bathrobe, looking confused. "What are you doing here so early? We need to talk, now." I showed him the photos on Jen's phone, watched his face go pale as he realized what he was looking at. "Luke took these," I said. "He broke into our apartment last night while we were sleeping and took pictures of my fiancée in our bed. This is beyond checking on an ex. This is criminal." My dad stared at the photos for a long moment. Then he looked up at me, and I could see he believed me. For the first time, he actually believed me about Luke. "I'll talk to him," he said quietly. "Talking won't fix this. You need to control him, or I will handle it myself." That's when my mom appeared in the hallway behind him. "What's going on?" My dad tried to close the door slightly, like he wanted to keep her out of this conversation, but she pushed past him. I showed her the photos. "Luke would never do something like that," she said immediately. Didn't even hesitate. "You probably staged these yourself to make him look bad. Are you serious right now?" "I know, my son. He's not a stalker. He's just heartbroken, you know. You took the love of his life away from him. They dated for 4 weeks 2 years ago, Mom. 4 weeks. And he's the one who broke up with her." She waved her hand dismissively. "You don't understand what it's like to see your brother with someone you love. Of course he's upset." My dad put his hand on her shoulder. "Honey, these photos are real. Luke has a problem. Don't you start too," she snapped at him. First he turns his back on Luke. "Now you. I raised that boy and I know he would never. He's living in our basement," my dad interrupted. "And he's been going through a rough patch. I found him sneaking out at 2 a.m. 3 nights ago. Said he couldn't sleep. My blood ran cold. 3 nights ago. That lined up with when Jen and I saw his car outside our apartment at midnight." "So you knew he was sneaking out and you didn't think to tell me?" I asked. "I didn't want to worry you. I thought he was just going for drives to clear his head. He broke into my apartment, Dad. He took photos of my fiancée while she slept. This isn't just going for drives." My mom crossed her arms. "I don't believe it. Luke wouldn't do that. You're making this up because you've always been jealous of him." I actually laughed. Couldn't help it. Jealous? Of what? Being enabled my entire childhood? Getting away with everything while I got punished for his mistakes? "You've always had it out for your brother," she said. Her voice was rising now. "Ever since you were kids, and now you're trying to ruin his life because you can't stand seeing him happy. He broke into my apartment and photographed my fiancée sleeping. How is that happy?" She didn't answer, just stood there with her arms crossed, glaring at me like I was the problem. I looked at my dad. "You need to kick him out. Today." "I can't do that," my dad said. "He's our son. Family sticks together no matter what. Even when family is stalking and breaking into homes? He's going through something. He needs support, not punishment." I couldn't believe what I was hearing. Even with photo evidence, even with my dad admitting Luke was sneaking out at night, they still wouldn't do anything. "Fine," I said. "Then neither of you are invited to the wedding anymore." My mom gasped. "You can't be serious." "I'm dead serious. Until you stop enabling him and get him actual help, you're not welcome at my wedding. I'm not having a stalker there, and I'm not having parents who defend stalkers. You're tearing this family apart over nothing," my mom said, and I swear there were actual tears forming in her eyes. "Luke is hurting, and instead of supporting him, you're punishing him. What kind of brother does that? The kind who doesn't want his fiancée terrorized anymore." I left before she could say anything else. On the drive home, my phone started blowing up. My mom was calling over and over. I declined every call. When I got back to the apartment, I checked the security camera footage on my phone. Nothing unusual. Good. Maybe Luke would stay away now that he knew I had cameras. I texted Jen. "Talk to my parents. They're useless. But the apartment is secure now. Cameras everywhere. New locks. Window alarms. You're safe here." She responded an hour later. "I'm staying with Taylor a few more nights. I'm sorry. I just can't yet." I understood. I really did. But it killed me that Luke had made her feel unsafe in her own home. That afternoon, Jen's phone buzzed with a text from an unknown number. She screenshot it and sent it to me immediately. "I still love you. You made a mistake choosing him. I can treat you so much better than he ever could. Please just talk to me. Give me one chance to show you what we could have. L." I called her immediately. "Block the number." "I already did. But Jake, I'm scared. What if he doesn't stop? If he contacts you again, we're filing a restraining order. I'm documenting everything." Over the next 2 days, Luke created 3 new Instagram accounts and 2 new phone numbers trying to message Jen. Each time she blocked him immediately, but the messages kept coming. Always the same theme. He loved her. She belonged with him. I was the wrong choice. He could make her happier. On the 3rd day, my sisters showed up at my apartment unannounced. Both of them looked worried. "We need to talk about Luke," my older sister Kate said as soon as I opened the door. I let them in. They sat on the couch, and Kate pulled out her phone. "I went into Luke's room yesterday," she said. "Mom asked me to grab his laundry. I found these." She showed me her phone, photos of photos, printouts of Jen's Instagram posts taped to Luke's wall, dozens of them. Some from 2 years ago, when they briefly dated. Some from last month, all arranged in this creepy, shrine-like pattern. "There's more," my younger sister Amy said quietly. "He has a journal." I read some of it. "He's been obsessing over her for months, writing about how she's the one who got away, how you stole her from him, how he's going to win her back." "Did you show Mom and Dad?" Kate shook her head. "Mom would just make excuses, but we thought you should know how bad it is. It's worse than you think," I said, and told them about the break-in and the photos. Amy's hand went to her mouth. "Oh my God. We've seen his car parked near Jen's work," Kate admitted. "I thought maybe it was just a coincidence at first, you know? Like maybe he had business nearby. But Amy noticed it too, and we started paying attention. He's been following her for months, long before you got engaged. 6 months at least, according to my sisters. Luke would park across from Jen's office building during her lunch break. He'd follow her to the gym, to the grocery store, to our apartment, all while pretending to my parents that he was over her and moving on with his life. "He's dangerous," Amy said. "I love him because he's our brother, but Jake, he's not right in the head about this." After my sisters left, I felt sick. This wasn't just about a broken heart or jealousy anymore. Luke was legitimately unstable. I decided I needed to confront him directly. Maybe if I talked to him face to face, without our parents around to defend him, I could make him understand how serious this was. I knew Luke liked to go to this coffee shop downtown most afternoons. I drove there and waited. Sure enough, he walked in at 3 p.m., ordered his usual iced coffee, and sat down with his laptop. I walked over and sat across from him. He looked up, startled. "We need to talk," I said. "I have nothing to say to you. Then you can listen. You broke into my apartment. You took photos of Jen while she slept. You've been following her for months. That's stalking, Luke. That's illegal." He actually laughed, like this was all some kind of joke. "I didn't do anything wrong," he said, still smiling. "And honestly, Jen still has feelings for me. I can tell by how she looks at me. She blocks you on every platform. She's terrified of you. That's what she wants you to think. But when we're alone, it's different. She remembers what we had. You dated for 4 weeks. 4 weeks that mattered," he said. His smile faded. "I broke up with her because I thought she needed to prove she really loved me. I thought she'd fight for me, beg me to take her back, but she didn't. She just moved on, like I meant nothing to her." I stared at him. He actually believed this. He'd convinced himself that their brief relationship was some epic love story, and Jen had failed some kind of test. "So, you've been stalking her ever since?" "I've been watching over her, making sure she's okay. And then you came along and turned her against me." "I came along 2 years later, Luke. She moved on because you broke up with her, and she's a normal person who doesn't stay stuck on someone who dumped her after a month." He leaned forward, his eyes intense. "I'm going to win her back. I've been planning it for months. Your engagement just moved up my timeline, that's all. But it doesn't change anything. She belongs with me. She's marrying me in 6 weeks. Not if I can help it." He said it so casually, like he was commenting on the weather. I felt my hands clench into fists under the table. "Stay away from her," I said. "Stay away from both of us. I'm warning you." "Or what?" He was smiling again. "You'll beat me up? Call the cops? Please. Mom will never let anything happen to me, and Dad won't either, even if he pretends to care about your side of things. I'm untouchable, brother. I always have been. I left before I did something I'd regret." On the drive home, I called Jen and told her everything Luke had said. "He admitted he's been planning to win you back for months," I said. "He basically admitted to stalking you, and he doesn't think there will be any consequences because Mom and Dad will protect him. Maybe we should just elope," Jen said quietly. "Cancel the wedding. Go to a courthouse. Just us. We're not letting him win. This is our wedding, and we're doing it the way we planned." But honestly, I was starting to wonder if eloping was the safer option. When I got home that evening, I found Luke sitting on the steps outside our apartment building, just sitting there, waiting, like he had every right to be there. "What are you doing here?" "I need to talk to Jen," he said, standing up. "Just 5 minutes. That's all I'm asking. She doesn't want to talk to you. She needs to hear me out. I need to explain myself properly. Luke, leave. Now." He moved toward the door. I blocked him. "Get out of my way," he said. His voice had changed. Lower, angrier. "No," he shoved me. Not hard enough to knock me down, but enough to make me stumble back. Then he pushed past me and started pounding on the apartment door. Jen, I know you're in there. Just give me 5 minutes, please." Neighbors started opening their doors. An elderly woman from 3B stuck her head out. A guy from 2A stepped into the hallway. "Everything okay?" 2A asked. "Call the building manager," I said. "This guy doesn't live here and he's harassing my fiancée." Luke kept pounding. "Jen, don't listen to him. He's turning you against me. Just talk to me." The building manager, Mr. Hoffman, came up the stairs looking annoyed. "He's this older guy who doesn't put up with any drama. What's going on? This is my brother, I said. He's stalking my fiancée and he just forced his way into the building. Mr. Hoffman looked at Luke, who was still banging on the door. Sir, you need to leave the property immediately. Not until she talks to me. If you don't leave right now, I'm calling the police and banning you from this property permanently. Luke turned around, his face red and furious. This is bullshit. I just want to talk to her. That's all. Why is everyone making me look like the bad guy? Leave now, Mr. Hoffman said firmly. Luke looked at me. You turned everyone against me. My own brother. You're ruining my life and you don't even care. You ruined your own life. This isn't over, he said. I'll talk to her at the wedding if I have to. I'll object. I'll tell everyone what you did, how you stole her from me. Then he left. Stormed down the stairs and out of the building. Through the window, I watched him get in his car and sit there for a minute, just gripping the steering wheel. Then he drove off. My phone rang 15 minutes later. Mom, how dare you make Luke look bad in front of strangers, she said as soon as I answered. He came home crying. He said you humiliated him in front of your neighbors. He came to my apartment and tried to force his way in to talk to Jen. He shoved me and pounded on my door, screaming. The building manager had to threaten to call the cops. He just wanted to talk to her. Is that so wrong? Can't he just have one conversation? She doesn't want to talk to him, Mom. She's blocked him on everything. She's terrified of him. Terrified. Oh, please. Luke would never hurt anyone. You're being dramatic. He broke into our apartment and took photos of her sleeping. You don't know that was him. You're just assuming. Who else would it be? She didn't answer that, just kept going. You need to apologize to him. He's your brother and you've hurt him so much. Ever since you started dating that girl, her name is Jen, you've treated Luke horribly, like he doesn't matter, like his feelings don't count. You have 1 week, I said. 1 week to get Luke under control, get him therapy, get him help. Do something, because if he shows up at my apartment again, if he contacts Jen again, I'm cutting all contact with you and Dad permanently. You can't just cut us out of your life. Watch me. I hung up. My hands were shaking. The next day at work, I got a call from Jen around lunchtime. She was crying so hard I could barely understand her. He showed up at my office. She sobbed. He came inside and started telling my coworkers that we're together, that you stole me from him, that I'm his girlfriend, and he's trying to protect me from you. What happened? Security escorted him out, but Jake, everyone was staring at me. My boss pulled me aside and asked if I was safe. I had to explain everything. The stalking, the photos, all of it. I'm so humiliated. I'm so sorry. My boss said he's banned from the building now, but he stood outside for an hour after security kicked him out, just standing there on the sidewalk watching the entrance. I left work early and drove to her office. By the time I got there, Luke was gone, but Jen's boss wanted to talk to me. Your fiancé showed me the messages, her boss said. He's this older guy, maybe 50, who's always been nice to Jen. And the photos from your apartment. I'm deeply concerned about her safety. I am too. I've installed security cameras at home. We've changed all the locks. I'm documenting everything. If he comes back here, we're calling the police immediately. And I'm saying this because I care about Jen's well-being. But if this escalates, she might want to consider taking some time off, just until things settle down. Jen shook her head. I'm not letting him control my life like that. I'm not hiding. But I could see she was scared. Really scared. That night, Luke started posting on social media. Long, rambling posts about how his brother betrayed him, how I stole his girlfriend, how I'd always been jealous of him and now I was trying to ruin his life. He tagged mutual friends, extended family, even some of Jen's friends who he'd found on Facebook. My phone started blowing up with messages from relatives I hadn't talked to in years. Is this true? You're dating Luke's ex? Why would you do that to your brother? I always knew you had issues with Luke, but this is low. People who didn't know the real story were taking Luke's side. He'd made it sound like Jen and him were together for years, not 1 month. Made it sound like I'd actively pursued her while they were still together. My sisters jumped in immediately. They created a group chat with all the extended family and set the record straight. Explained that Luke and Jen dated briefly 2 years ago, that he broke up with her, that I met Jen on my own, not knowing about their past, that Luke had been stalking her for months. Some people believed us. Others thought we were lying to make Luke look bad. That's when my mom sent the email. Not a phone call, not a text, a formal email to me, my sisters, and Jen. I will not be attending the wedding. I cannot support a marriage that causes my son so much pain. Luke has been hurting for years over this girl, and watching his brother marry her would be too much for him to bear. I hope someday you'll understand that family means protecting each other, not causing each other pain. Until you can treat your brother with the respect and love he deserves, I cannot be part of your life. I read it 3 times. Then I forwarded it to my dad with 1 sentence. Is this really how you both feel? He called me 20 minutes later. Your mother is very upset, he said carefully. She's not thinking clearly. So you don't agree with her? Long pause. I think this whole situation has gotten out of hand. Luke needs help, I know that. But your mother feels like you're attacking him, like you're trying to push him out of the family. I'm trying to protect my fiancée from someone who's stalking her. I understand that. I do. But he's still my son, our son. And your mother can't just turn her back on him, even when he's in the wrong? Another pause. She loves him, that's all. And she doesn't love me? That's not what I said. Then what are you saying, Dad? Are you going to the wedding or not? I want to. But if your mother doesn't go, she'll never forgive me. She'll say I chose you over Luke. She'd be right. Because that's exactly what you'd be doing. Choosing the son who isn't stalking someone over the one who is. Please don't make me pick sides. Luke already made you pick sides when he broke into my apartment. He sighed. I don't know what to do. I'm trying to keep this family together. Family was never together, Dad. Not for me. Not for my sisters. Only for Luke. I hung up on him too. I replied to my mom's email with one sentence. Your invitation to the wedding is officially revoked. Stay home with your golden child. The next day, something happened that changed everything. We were at work, both Jen and me, when I got a call from an unknown number. I almost didn't answer, thinking it might be Luke calling from a new phone. Is this Jake? A woman's voice. Yes. This is Detective Morrison with the police department. We received a report about a breaking and entering at your apartment last week. Do you have time to come down to the station and give a statement? I was confused. I never filed a report. Your building manager did. He mentioned an incident with an individual named Luke who was banned from the property. When we investigated, we found evidence of forced entry at your apartment from a few days prior. Security camera footage showing someone matching the description, scaling the fire escape. Mr. Hoffman had called the police without telling me. God bless that man. I went to the station during my lunch break and gave my statement. Showed them the photos of Jen sleeping. Showed them all the messages Luke had sent from multiple accounts. Showed them the posts he'd made on social media. This is stalking, Detective Morrison said. And breaking and entering. We can bring him in for questioning. Will that stop him? It might. Sometimes just having police involvement scares people straight. Other times, we need to pursue charges. Do whatever you need to do. They brought Luke in that afternoon. I know because my mom called me screaming. The police just took Luke. They handcuffed him and everything. How could you do this to him? I didn't call them. The building manager did. You gave them those fake photos. You lied to the police. The photos are real, Mom. Luke took them. He broke into my apartment. He would never. You're destroying his life because you're jealous of him. You always have been. I hung up on her. Again. Luke was released a few hours later. No charges filed yet, but the police warned him to stay away from me and Jen or he'd be arrested. They told him they had evidence of the break-in, and if he contacted either of us again, they would pursue charges. I thought maybe that would be enough. Maybe Luke would finally back off. Instead, it made things worse. 3 days later, Jen and I were at home watching TV when my phone rang. It was the wedding venue. Hi, is this Jake? The coordinator asked. Yes. I just wanted to confirm the cancellation. I'm processing the refund now. My stomach dropped. What cancellation? Someone called this morning saying you needed to cancel the wedding. They said you decided to postpone indefinitely. Who called? They said they were you. They had your name and your fiancé's name and the date of the wedding. It wasn't me. Don't cancel anything. We're still getting married. Oh no. I'm so sorry. Let me fix this right away. Luke had called pretending to be me, trying to cancel our wedding. The venue caught it just in time because they always call to confirm cancellations. But the fact that he tried made me realize how far he was willing to go. The wedding was 3 weeks away now. 3 weeks and Luke was escalating instead of backing off. That night, Jen and I sat on the couch and had a serious conversation. We need security at the wedding, she said. I know. Like actual security. Not just friends watching the door. Someone professional who can keep him out if he shows up. My sisters already offered to help. And your brothers. That's not enough. What if he brings a weapon? What if he does something crazy? The thought hadn't fully occurred to me before, but she was right. Luke was obsessed. Unstable. Who knew what he was capable of at this point? I'll hire someone, I said. A professional security guard. And I'll make sure everyone knows Luke is banned. If he shows up, they call the police immediately. What if we just eloped? Jen asked again, her voice small. Went to a courthouse tomorrow. Just us. No family. No drama. Is that what you want? I want to marry you without being terrified that your brother is going to ruin it. We sat in silence for a moment. Then my phone buzzed. A message from Luke. If you marry her, you'll regret it for the rest of your life. Attached was a photo. Our apartment building. Taken that morning, based on the timestamp. Luke was still watching us, still following us, even after the police warning. I showed Jen the message. She started crying. He's never going to stop, she said. Yes, he will. I'll make him stop. The next day, I drove to my parents' house. Again, this had to end. I didn't call ahead this time, just showed up at 10 a.m. and rang the doorbell. My father answered. He looked exhausted. Is Luke here? He's downstairs. I need to talk to him, in front of you and Mom, right now. We went down to the basement. Luke was lying on the couch playing video games, looking totally unbothered by everything that had happened. My mom was down there too, folding laundry. Luke, I said, look at me. He paused his game but didn't look up. What? You need to stop. All of it. The stalking, the messages, showing up at our apartment. It needs to end. I don't know what you're talking about. I pulled out my phone and showed everyone the photo he'd sent last night. You sent this. You're still following us even after the police told you to stop. My mom glanced at it. That could be from anyone. It came from his number. A fake number. Someone pretending to be him. Luke smirked. Yeah, someone's trying to frame me. I couldn't believe this. Even with proof, even with photo evidence and police reports and witness statements, they were still defending him. You tried to cancel our wedding, I said to Luke. You called the venue pretending to be me. I didn't do that. They have a recording of the phone call, Luke. The police are going to hear it. That made him pause, just for a second. Then he went back to his game. I don't care what the police think. Jen belongs with me. She always has. And if you think some wedding is going to change that, you're delusional. My father finally spoke up. Luke, that's enough. Luke ignored him. I mean it, Dad said, his voice getting louder. This has gone too far. You're finally admitting he has a problem? I asked. Dad looked at my mom. She was staring at the laundry basket, not saying anything. Your mother and I found something, Dad said quietly. In Luke's room. Don't, Mom said. He needs to know, Dad replied. Then he looked at me. Notes. About Jen, her schedule, what time she leaves for work, what time she goes to lunch, what gym she goes to, which grocery store she shops at. He's been documenting her movements for over a year. My blood ran cold. A year? I found them a few days ago, Dad admitted. Before you met Jen, before you even knew each other. He was already following her. Luke finally looked up from his game. So what? I wanted to make sure she was safe. Safe from what? I demanded. From other guys. From bad decisions. I was looking out for her. You were stalking her. I was being a good friend. You weren't friends. You broke up with her and she moved on with her life. She made a mistake, Luke said calmly. I broke up with her to test her, and she failed. So I've been waiting for the right time to fix things, to show her we belong together. Then you came along and complicated everything. I looked at my father. Kick him out. Today. Or I'm going to the police with all of this and pressing charges. He's our son, Mom said, her voice breaking. We can't just throw him out. He's a stalker. He's dangerous. He's heartbroken, Mom yelled. Can't you see that? He loved that girl and you took her away from him. She was never his to take. Boys, Dad said, holding up his hands. Everyone needs to calm down. No, I said. I'm done calming down. Luke either gets help, professional help, or I'm done with this family forever. All of you. I left before anyone could respond. That night, I told Jen everything. About the notes, about Luke admitting he'd been following her for over a year, about my parents refusing to do anything meaningful to stop him. I'm scared, she admitted. Really scared. What if he does something at the wedding? What if he hurts someone? I've hired security. 2 guards. They'll be at the venue the whole time, watching the entrance. What if that's not enough? Then we fight back. We don't let him win. This is our day, Jen, not his. My sisters came over that night too. They wanted to help plan security for the wedding. Between them and Jen's 2 brothers, we had 6 people committed to watching for Luke and stopping him if he showed up. We'll form a perimeter, Kate said. She was taking this very seriously. 2 people at the entrance, 2 on the sides, 2 watching the parking lot. If we see his car, we call the cops immediately. This is insane, Jen said. We're planning a wedding like it's a military operation. Better safe than sorry, Amy replied. The next 2 weeks passed in a blur of stress and anxiety. Luke didn't contact us directly, but we'd see his car sometimes, parked down the street from our apartment, outside Jen's work. Always far enough away that it wasn't technically violating the police warning, but close enough that we knew he was there. I barely slept. Every noise in the apartment made me jump. Every time Jen left for work, I'd text her constantly to make sure she arrived safely. We found out through my sisters that Luke was telling people he was going to object at the wedding. He'd apparently been talking about it constantly, saying he was going to stand up during the ceremony and tell everyone the truth about how I stole Jen from him. He's practiced a whole speech, Kate told me. Amy heard him rehearsing it in the basement. Will he actually show up? I think so. Mom's been encouraging him, telling him to follow his heart. Of course she had. The day before the wedding, we did a final walkthrough of the venue. The security guards I'd hired were there, professional guys in their 40s who looked like they could handle anything. I showed them Luke's photo and gave them detailed instructions. If this man shows up, you don't let him inside. If he refuses to leave, you call the police immediately. Don't engage, don't argue, just call the cops. Understood, one of them said. That night, Jen stayed at a hotel with her bridesmaids. Traditional thing, not seeing the groom before the wedding. But really, it was because she didn't want to be at the apartment alone with me, gone at my bachelor dinner. The dinner was just me and a few close friends. Nothing fancy. We went to a sports bar, watched a game, tried to relax. My sisters came too. which was kind of funny. Kate and Amy drinking beer and talking trash about the teams on TV, while my friends told embarrassing stories about me. I got back to the apartment around midnight, checked all the cameras. Nothing unusual. Set the alarm. Went to bed. At 3 a.m., my phone rang. It was Jen. She was crying again. "What's wrong?" "He's here. At the hotel. The front desk just called my room. Luke showed up asking what room I'm in." I was out of bed and getting dressed before she finished the sentence. "Did they tell him?" "No, they refused. But he's in the lobby. He won't leave. He's just sitting there." "I'm on my way. Call hotel security." I drove to the hotel, breaking about 15 traffic laws on the way. When I got there, I saw Luke's car in the parking lot. Inside, he was sitting on a couch in the lobby, just staring at his phone. Hotel security was there too. 2 guys in uniforms looking uncomfortable. "Sir, you need to leave." One of them was saying, "You don't have a room here and you're making guests uncomfortable." "I'm just waiting for someone," Luke said. "Who?" "My girlfriend. She's staying here." "What's her name?" "Jen." I walked over. "She's not your girlfriend, and she doesn't want to see you." Luke looked up at me and smiled. That same disturbing smile from the coffee shop. "Oh good, you're here. Can you tell her to come down? I just need 5 minutes." "Leave. Now. It's a public lobby. I can sit here if I want." One of the security guards stepped forward. "Sir, this is private property and we're asking you to leave. If you don't, we'll call the police." "Fine. Whatever." Luke stood up slowly. "Tell Jen I'll see her tomorrow. At the wedding. I'll be there, and she'll finally understand how much I love her." He walked out, got in his car, drove away. I went up to Jen's room. She was in her pajamas, her face red from crying, surrounded by her bridesmaids who looked furious. "He's gone," I said. "For now," one of her bridesmaids said, "but he'll be back tomorrow, won't he?" "Not if we can help it." I called my sisters. Conference call at 3:30 a.m. "Luke just showed up at Jen's hotel," I told them. "He's definitely coming to the wedding. We need to be ready." "We will be," Kate promised. "Don't worry. We've got this." I didn't sleep the rest of the night. Just sat in Jen's hotel room while she dozed fitfully, her bridesmaids taking turns keeping watch by the window to make sure Luke didn't come back. The morning of the wedding was surreal. We all tried to pretend everything was normal. Jen got her hair and makeup done. I put on my tux. Everyone smiled and took pictures. But underneath it all was this constant tension, waiting for Luke to show up, waiting for something to go wrong. The ceremony was at 3 p.m. By 2:30, all the guests had arrived. My sisters and Jen's brothers took their positions around the venue, security guards at the front entrance. Everyone had their phones ready to call 911 if needed. 2:45 p.m. Still no sign of Luke. 2:55 p.m. I was standing at the altar, my best man beside me, and I kept glancing at the doors. 3 p.m. The music started. Bridesmaids walked down the aisle. Still no Luke. Then Jen appeared. She looked beautiful, absolutely stunning, and for a moment, I forgot about Luke completely, just focused on her, walking toward me, smiling despite everything. She reached the altar. The officiant began speaking. I kept waiting for the doors to burst open, for Luke to come running in shouting objections, but it didn't happen. We said our vows, exchanged rings. The officiant said, "If anyone objects to this union, speak now or forever hold your peace." Silence. "I now pronounce you husband and wife. You may kiss the bride." We kissed. Everyone cheered, and Luke never showed up. The reception was at the same venue. We moved to the banquet hall, still on edge but starting to relax slightly. Maybe he'd given up. Maybe the police warning and all the security had finally scared him off. We were halfway through dinner when my phone buzzed. "Kate, he's here." My blood ran cold. "Where?" "Parking lot. He just pulled up. Security is handling it." I excused myself from the head table and went outside. Sure enough, there was Luke's car. And Luke, arguing with the security guards. "I'm family," he was saying. "I'm the groom's brother. I'm supposed to be here. You're not on the guest list," one guard said firmly. "That's a mistake. My parents are in there. Ask them. Your parents specifically told us you're not allowed in." That shocked me. I walked closer and saw my father standing near the entrance, his hand on my mother's arm. She was crying, but Dad looked resolute. "Luke, go home," Dad said. "You can't be serious." "I am. This is their day, not yours. You need to leave. After everything I've been through, after how much I've suffered, you're going to take his side?" "There are no sides," Dad said quietly. "There's just right and wrong, and what you've been doing is wrong." My mother was sobbing openly now. "Please, Luke, just go home, please." Luke looked at them, then at me. His face was twisted with rage. "This isn't over," he said. "You think this changes anything? She's mine. She'll always be mine. She's my wife now," I said. That's when Luke completely lost it. He tried to rush past the security guards. They grabbed him, and he started screaming. Not words, just screaming, thrashing and fighting to get free. "Call the police." one guard said. My father pulled out his phone. I'm calling them now. Luke broke free for just a second and ran toward the entrance. I stepped in front of him. We collided and went down in a heap on the pavement. He was crying and screaming and trying to punch me. She was supposed to be mine. You ruined everything. I loved her first. The guards pulled him off me. My father and my sister's husbands helped hold him down until the police arrived 5 minutes later. They arrested him, handcuffs and everything. Read him his rights while he sobbed about Jen, about how much he loved her, about how unfair everything was. They put him in the squad car and drove away. My mother was hysterical. My father held her while she cried, saying, my baby, over and over. I went back inside. Everyone was staring. Jen was standing near the head table, her face white. Is he gone? She whispered. Yeah, the police took him. She collapsed into my arms, sobbing with relief. The rest of the reception was subdued. People tried to celebrate, but the mood was off. We cut the cake, had our first dance, did all the traditional things, but everyone was shaken. My parents left early. Dad apologized on the way out. I should have done something sooner, he said. I'm sorry. My mother didn't say anything, just walked past me without making eye contact. That was our wedding day. Not the beautiful, perfect day we'd planned, but we got through it. We got married, and Luke was finally in police custody. Later that night, at the hotel, Jen and I lay in bed in silence for a while. Do you think it's really over? She asked. I don't know. I'm so tired. Me too. We fell asleep holding hands. The next morning, we got a call from Detective Morrison. Luke is being held on stalking charges, breaking and entering, and assault, she said. The district attorney is moving forward with prosecution. He's looking at possible jail time. Good. There's more. Your father brought us additional evidence. The notes Luke had been keeping about your wife, documenting her schedule. Combined with everything else, it's a strong case. My father had finally done the right thing. 2 days later, while Jen and I were on our honeymoon, my dad called. We took Luke to a psychiatric facility, he said. He admitted to the doctors that he'd been planning to object at your wedding. He admitted he broke into your apartment. He admitted everything. They're holding him for evaluation. They think he has a severe obsessive disorder. How long will they keep him? At least a month, maybe longer, depending on what they find. And Mom? She's devastated. But she's starting to understand how sick Luke really is. She asked me to tell you she's sorry. For what, enabling him for 20 years? For not protecting you when you needed protection. For choosing him over you and your sisters. I didn't know what to say to that. I'm proud of you, Dad said, for standing up to him, for protecting Jen, for doing what I should have done years ago. After I hung up, Jen asked what he'd said. Luke's in a psychiatric hospital. They're evaluating him. Is it weird that I feel kind of sorry for him? A little. I mean, he's clearly sick. He needs help. He needed help a long time ago, I said. But yeah, I feel bad for him too, in a way. That was 6 days ago. We're still on our honeymoon, trying to relax and forget about everything that happened. But every time my phone rings, I tense up, wondering if it's more news about Luke.